Alright, there we go, guys. What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead universe, the news that's been going around since last week. Hopefully you know what we're talking about. If not, spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead. I made 2 videos on it, and definitely wanted to just highlight that a little bit, and different shows, movies that we were watching, a little bit of football, and then my craziness that was yesterday, January 17th, 2026. But today is January 18th, 2026. I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead universe. So before we get into all that, we'll talk about a bunch of other things and other stuff there. So yesterday was January 17th, like I said, and if you know this channel, you know that I had a cat named Milo. He passed away last year. And it was a year ago yesterday. And I don't know if you believe in that stuff or if you believe in, I don't know. I hate to say hocus pocus, but stuff that's it's hard to explain, stuff that's, out of our hands, stuff that's spirits and, the universe and whatever. But yesterday was a tough day. And the crazy thing about it is, like, I didn't even think about it as the anniversary of Milo's death. But I was talking to my dad because my dad's going to have another knee replacement next year, and I was like, I should fly up to New Jersey and take care of him. And then he texted me, I know today's going to be tough for you, but, Milo was your son, and, all those things there too. And I wasn't even thinking about it. And then I was thinking about it, obviously, because it made me think about Milo. And if you know the videos on the channel, and the book series, and stuff there too, that he was like my child, and I loved him like a child, and I loved him very much. I've had him since he was a kitten, and he passed away at 17 and a half years. And it's tough. He's in the book series, and it's tough. So it was kind of a rough day for a bunch of different things. And then I was getting an Amazon package. I was actually getting 2 packages. One was a present for my wife because her birthday is next month. And then the other stuff was like some shirts and stuff because it's been cold, obviously. So hopefully you're staying warm wherever you're at in this cold temperature. And I got some long sleeve shirts because when you go to the gym, it's like cold out in the parking lot when you leave your car, but then it's hot in the gym. So if you wear the pants and the long sleeve shirts and everything on there too, because it's cold outside, and then you go inside and it's hot, you got to be able to have layers and stuff too. So came home, and then I was thinking about different videos and everything and whatever, but my wife's package came from Amazon, and there was only one there, and I was like, what is this? So I looked it up, and as I'm on my phone's acting weird. And then it hits me with the UI not responding. And I'm like, what's UI? So if you ever see that, it's a user interface on a phone, because I was looking stuff up on my computer, and I was like, maybe it's the internet, maybe it's this or whatever, but the phone was going weird and this and that, and my wife's asleep. Time's going by, and I'm trying to mess with the phone, and it's kind of working, but it's not. And then all of a sudden, it just dies. The power had like 40% battery, but it's dead, and it won't power on. So what do you do, right? It's like one of those crazy things where you're like, I should have my home screen, my lock screen, something. I should have minimal, basic, connection on the phone. And I didn't. So like it's 4:30, and I'm like, I need my phone. And it's weird. You're so connected to our devices and everything, especially with internet and phones, tablets, computers, that I was like, I don't know what to do. And so my wife wakes up. She took like a shower. And I'm still trying to work on the phone, and she's like, what's going on? And like, my phone's not working. This is crazy. I'm going to have to go to AT&T. So there's one store that's kind of close to where we're at, and so she's like, "I'll go with you." Blah blah blah. So we changed our clothes. We got into the car and drove to AT&T, and my phone was still not working. I tried to plug it in and charge it, and whatever, nothing came on. And the guy was like, "Well, there's nothing I can do, but there's a place down the way that they can help you with it, and it's called like Flip and Fix It, or Fix It and Flip It, or something, like some sort of fixing a device area." And it's this little tiny store, and it was right in the same shopping center. So I go over to their guy, and he was very nice. And he was like, "I can do a diagnostic on it to see what it is, check the battery at least to see what it was." So we had some time, and it was like 40 minutes. He said he was going to take about it there too. So Hoku Punu 4415. I was talking about my cat Milo, who passed away last year. So it was a year ago, January 17th, 2025. It was the year anniversary yesterday. And so we go to Chick-fil-A because it's kind of close, and we're waiting, and we get some food and whatever. And then I was like, "Oh, we'll give some time." And the phone, is still nothing. So then I go back to the fix-it guy, and he was like, he got the screen to power on a little bit, but it didn't even boot on. It didn't do anything. It just was powering, and he had to back off, and he was trying to fix it, and it wasn't. He's like, "Well, you can get a new battery. You probably need a new battery. The battery's not working." And so I was like, "Okay, whatever." And I was like, "Well, I got to get a new phone, but I got to transfer my files." And so I had to go back to AT&T, and they were closing at 8 o'clock, and this was like 7:15. So I was like, I got to make a decision. So I went, and I talked to my dad, because he's the primary person on the account. And I'm like, "Well, can I get a phone? Do I buy it outright? Do I do this? What do I have to do?" And so we came up with a plan for that. And I always get like a cheaper phone. I don't get the bigger, all over the top crazy one. And I'm a Samsung person. I'm not an iPhone person. So I got the phone, and the guy wasn't really helpful, but he was like, "Oh, we can do this, and you can do that. It's going to cost this, and whatever, blah, blah, blah." He went to the back, powered it on, opened up the phone, took it out, and it had, probably like 45, close to 50% battery. So I powered it on, and I'm just messing with it. And then it asks you all the questions to like log back in. And so note to self, make sure you back up your contacts, your phones, your photos, your everything on there too, your data, your apps, everything on there on your phone with a, the Samsung account or some sort of cloud account. Because if you just log back into that, you're set. You can just have that all set for you on there too. And I didn't really have that on my phone. It was just something that I never really backed up. And so I was like, great. I come home, and I'm trying to like figure out the new phone and try to do this. And I have like 4 contacts, and they're not even contacts that I use. If you check your phone right now, how many phone contacts do you have? Probably a bunch. Who really deletes a lot of people? Not a lot. But my wife wasn't in there. My dad wasn't in the phone. There was all these phone numbers that weren't even there. And so I was trying to do this, trying to set it up, trying to log back in, and it's asking me to change the password and this password. It was so annoying. Next thing I know, it's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like drained. I've been dealing with this stuff for like 4+ hours. And I'm like, oh, man. So then I go to bed, and I wake up because it's still on my mind, right? And so I go to my old phone, and I'm like, let me just see if this works. So I try to hit the power button, and it tries to turn on, and it says 0% battery. And I was like, well, that's something new. So I plugged it in, and it starts charging, and I can see it working. Next thing I know, I got 10, 12, 15% battery. So I turn it on, and it boots on, and it's working. I'm like, what the heck is going on? It was so crazy. So then here's a little trick. Put your phone in airplane mode. When you charge it, it'll charge much faster because you're not dealing with all these other apps and all these other, systems running or any interface working. It's minimal stuff working on the phone, so it doesn't have to fight that too. So put that on there for the phone, got it booted up, connected it with the wires, was able to move the old phone into my new phone with the USB-C cable that connects into it. Took a little while, took about 45 minutes once I figured it out, got all my stuff back up and running, and I was like, thank goodness. But now my old phone is kind of working. So I'm like, I don't want to get charged for like using 2 phones, obviously. And I got this brand new nice Samsung S25 phone that's really nice actually, but it's really weird to have a phone without a case because I just have the phone now. So Amazon is delivering a case and a screen protector, and I have to put those on later today. But it's really weird. I feel like it's very fragile. It's very nice. It's got the nice, smoothness on there too as well. But it's like, man, it's so weird. I'm so used to having like the nice, I guess, silicone, plastic, whatever synthetic material that protects the phone. And so that was my ordeal yesterday. We're trying to watch the football games and Josh Allen losing to the Broncos, but then Bo Nix getting getting hurt, and it was actually, the game was on in the AT&T store, and the guy that was helping us was like cheering, and he was like yelling. It was great. It was crazy. It was so nuts. He was like, "Whoa, what you got? What you got, Josh Allen? What you got?" Ooh, and I'm like, I don't know who you're rooting for. Is it the Broncos or the Bills? He's like, well, I got a bet going right here. I'm good. And so he actually won the bet because he was getting 8 points or something. So either way, he won his bet. But it was crazy. But my focus was getting my phone back up and running. And I was like, oh, so that was literally yesterday. So I'm really tired. I'm really this. I didn't sleep well. I got up early. And when something's on my mind, I got to get it going and get it satisfied and get it taken care of, So I didn't get it. I wanted to watch the movie The Rip on Netflix. That's Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Steven Yeun, and a bunch of other people in it. And I'm like, ugh, didn't get a chance to watch that. But what are you guys watching? What are you guys doing on there too? We're watching Fallout. We're watching Landman, the football games. Hard Knocks is over now that the Eagles are done. We watched Below Deck Mediterranean, and you watch that. It's kind of crazy, but we watched that. I started watching The Running Man with Glenn Powell, and if you know me, I don't like Glenn Powell very much. But how about you? Did you guys watch The Running Man, or I was watching Suits on there too? That's cool. We finished up His and Hers. His and Her. His and Hers. It's a series, a limited series on Netflix, starring John Bernthal and Tessa Thompson. Have you checked that out yet? But I definitely recommend it if you have it on there too. So Anissa says, hey buddy, how are you? I have Dale's RV. It doesn't run yet, but it's so cool. So are you trying to get it to run though? Anissa, are you trying to get it up and running? Because that'd be pretty cool. I think I saw some of your photos on Instagram where you put them in one of the Facebook groups. And it's pretty cool. I like how you did like a side-by-side of the photo of the RV and then what the scene was in the season 2 of The Walking Dead. That's pretty cool. My guy Negan. So it's definitely we're watching Home Alone as well. Home Improvement, Home Improvement on Netflix, and that's still so funny. We're finishing up season 2 right now, but it's really really awesome. Yeah. So yeah, but just kind of back up your phone with cloud, whatever, Samsung or Apple or whatever, just so you don't miss your contacts, or at least start to write them down somewhere. Like worst case, you go old school, paper, pen, writing down your contacts, because it's kind of crazy, like, to think about it too. Like there's certain phone numbers that I remember, but I know a majority of them I don't, and so it's kind of sad if you start to lose some photos and some memories and stuff on there too. But definitely do that as my word of advice. So, and he says, yes, working on getting a mechanic to come out and look at it. That's awesome. So are you in Georgia now? Did you officially move down and you're done with Ohio? Because that's pretty cool. So speaking of The Walking Dead, as you can see from the thumbnail, we have a Maggie and a Negan photo. Maggie and Negan are talking, and they're definitely between takes of a scene or something. And if you saw my 2 videos that I posted recently, we're going to get a dream sequence cameo stuff with some Walking Dead people, and it's Maggie and Negan, and then there's also Maggie, and if you know the video that I posted there too, you know who comes around. And I like dream sequences, but I also hate them at the same time. What do you guys like? Do you like them? Unless it makes sense, right? Like, I mean, some of the things are just filler, and they don't really continue the story very much, or further the story. But it's one of those things where you're like, huh, what are we getting out of this thing? And it'll be nice to see Maggie and the Walking Dead person that you know I'm talking about. But it was like, what's going on there? I wonder why that's actually happening. But probably either she gets sick and she's hallucinating, she's dreaming, hallucinating, she's thinking about a world that would have been or could have been, you know? I don't know. So let me see. What else we got here in the chat? Anissa says, yes, I'm in Georgia. It snowed last night. I'm not okay with that. Yeah, I know. I live in Tampa Bay, so we didn't get any snow here. It's been cold and windy, and the winds died down or whatever. But the Panhandle got some snow, so they that's the place to get some snow. So stay safe. I know some places have a snow budget. Some places don't. So be safe. That's for sure too. So going to snow in Denver. I'm sure. I would assume it snows a lot in Denver a lot of times. But that's okay. That's supposed to, right? You want snow. You want slopes. You want skis. You want to be able to be outdoor activities, snowmobiles, all that stuff. Sims says, Landman, great episode this morning, finale. So it was the season finale. So hopefully you guys are watching the Taylor Sheridan shows still. Hopefully you still got some Landman. There's a show coming out called The Madison that I believe is another Taylor Sheridan show, and I don't know how it connects with, if it does at all, with the Yellowstone. But The Madison looks to be starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell, which pretty great casting again. You know, they love to get the right people in for Taylor Sheridan shows, and good for them. And I definitely I couldn't remember that one, but I know Marshall's is coming out in March. I don't know when The Madison comes out. I don't know, Tulsa King. I know they've been filming for a little bit, but I know that's usually a later show. And so there's a lot of good shows on Paramount coming out, too. So I definitely recommend getting Paramount Plus, even if it's for like a trial, to check out the shows. Like, just wait for a bunch of seasons and then just watch a bunch of stuff on there too. And then maybe keep it, maybe don't. But I think it's a great app too, especially with football. It's got the CBS shows. And I used to be a big Survivor fan. I used to like to watch the show Survivor, and then I haven't watched it in a while. But this next season is the 50th season of that show. And they're bringing back all these previous cast members, and I'll probably definitely check it out. So do you guys watch any Survivor or any reality shows like that? Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. So I said it before earlier that I started watching The Running Man. I think it's on MGM Plus or Amazon or whatever on there now. You can watch it, one of those. And it stars Glenn Powell. And I don't really like that guy. It's just something about him just kind of bothers me. But it seemed pretty cool. Like, I was watching it, and I'm not a big Running Man fan. I know it's an Arnold movie and a Stephen King book. But Running Man, or The Running Man, stars Glenn Powell, and the premise is it's a game show, and Coleman Domingo, who played Strand, is like the host of The Running Man. And it's kind of cool. And the way they do it, it had good CGI and good effects. And I've only watched 45 minutes of it so far. It's got I think it's over 2 hours. But it's got me interested. So I'll have to check out to see what the rest of it happens on there too. And I didn't really hate it. I didn't hate the guy either too. He was playing a decent part. He's playing kind of an arrogant, angry, just person who's just fed up with society and the way things are going, and stuff's not going his way, we'll just say. And so it's there too. So, oh man, Negan says Running Man was good except for the third act and end. Well, that sucks. Like, I would assume, do you care about the ending more than anything? I would assume that it's a pretty big part for a lot of people is the ending, because the way it ends wraps things up or sets up for another show or movie or season or series or whatever, or spin-off or whatever. But I think you gotta knock it out the park, beginning, middle, and end, obviously. But I guess that's a good question. Do you care more about the beginning or the ending? of something. Because majority of shows, the endings usually suck. It's tough to wrap it up, right? So I'm not going to give away what happens, but I want you to watch His and Hers on Netflix, starring John Bernthal and Tessa Thompson. And the ending is good. Like, it makes you be like, whoa, what's going on here? You know, like, it's kind of cool. And you could figure out some things a little bit, but that's the kind of one that keeps you on your toes. Every episode of it makes you figure out a little bit more and wonder what's going on here on there too. And then it's explained, it's answered, and it's done in a way that makes sense too. So, and Lisa says, I watched Stranger Things, still kind of weird about the end. So, you know, that's a one that I thought was okay ending. You know, Stranger Things, they wrapped it up. And I was thinking about it too, like Stranger Things was going on for so long, 2016 to 2026. Basically, it ended, you know, New Year's Eve on 2025. So it's like 10 years. I know 10 years of anything is crazy. And what was that, 6 seasons? 5, 6 seasons of Stranger Things? So the kids were older and stuff was here, and the ending kind of rushed, and the way they broke it up is like 4 episodes and 3 episodes and 1 episode, and they were so long and whatever. But it was okay. I'm not mad at the ending of Stranger Things. That's for sure. They did something. So 5 seasons. Yeah, so 5 seasons in 10 years basically was like a lot. 5 seasons in 9, 10 years. It's, you know, and like I said, it's tough to wrap things up. Like the Sopranos ending and the Seinfeld ending and the Friends ending and the Breaking. So like Breaking Bad's ending was probably one of the best. And we all knew what was going to happen some way, shape, or form to Walter White, but in a way it was kind of going out in a way that's heroic and makes sense. But yeah, so we're, you know, the football games now are kind of like, ugh, I don't even care too much about it too. Like, so we have the Broncos, they won, and the Seahawks won. And Jeffrey D. Morgan is actually a big Seahawks fan. And then we have the Rams and the Bears, and the Patriots and the Texans. So my wife was rooting for the Bills and the 49ers. They both lost. And she's rooting for the Rams and the Texans. So hopefully they both win, because I would like to see the Rams and the Texans. I kind of don't want the Patriots to go anymore. They've had enough time and winning, and now they're back doing well again. You're like, and even though I do like Mike Vrabel and Drake May's okay, and the team is what it is, but you know, I had enough of them winning. You know, I want them to like get their whole thing out of the way, and I would love to see like the Bills have gone, but they fell apart. And, you know, the Texans have not won a Super Bowl. So if they can get kind of far, that would be kind of cool to see. And, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a little underdog here and there. But it'll probably be like the Seahawks and the Patriots or something, you know, something like that, something annoying. But we'll have to see what happens, how it goes down. But, yeah, yeah, I know Seinfeld's ending was pretty bad. But how do you wrap it up, right? Because it's not one of those shows where they have to get like zombie apocalypse stuff, right? Usually it can only end in certain ways. Everybody lives, everybody dies, they make it to an island, a paradise, a sanctuary, somewhere safe, or they all die, the military shows up, something like that. But in a sitcom, does somebody move away? Does somebody get married? Does somebody have a child? Like, you have to have the catalyst that makes them go on to bigger things, but it's an ending. Like, so the ending is wrapping something up, but in a lot of people's things, and like the universe of the show or the movie or the series or the whatever, they keep going on with their lives. You know, just like in The Sopranos, don't stop believing. The people that survive The Sopranos just keep going on. And yes, it's fictional and it's a universe, but they keep moving on too. So, but it's nice. It's a nice escape. There's a lot of things going on, and you know, I was watching X-Men, the first one, like briefly earlier in this week, and it's still really good. I'm partial to X-Men. I'm a big X-Men fan. But I think Bryan Singer did a pretty good job in the first and the second movie. And the third one's pretty bad. And then they started to go off the deep end and they kind of get better and they kind of do all these things. But they just have to replicate the cartoon, in my opinion, the 90s cartoon. And they have the 90s cartoon, 1997, the first season, second season will be out later this year. And if you haven't watched it, it's definitely really good. You have to like that stuff. But Negan asks, have you watched 11/23/63 Netflix? Different take on Time Saver. Very well done so far. Stephen King story. So I don't know. That's a show? 11/23/63. That's what it's called? No, I don't even know what that is. That's kind of crazy. And more that I research things or whatever, Stephen King stuff is like everywhere. His books are everywhere. And not everything is great, not everything is a great adaptation, but good for him, man. That's awesome. That's like the dream, Yeah, Bo Nix getting hurt really sucks. Seahawks are good, man. Seahawks are really good. That's why I could see them winning it all this year. I wouldn't. It would be a great game, I think, if it's the Seahawks playing the Rams, and whoever wins that may win the Super Bowl. But the Seahawks are tough, man. I could see them winning it all. But what was I gonna say about So tonight is Game of Thrones. I can never remember. I know it's not called A Knight's Tale, but it's like A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms or something. And that comes out tonight. And I'll definitely watch it probably tomorrow or this week. I'm definitely excited where From is. I'm excited for that too, And yeah, so From should be out typically around March or April. It's usually that type of show. And if you guys haven't watched Fallout on Amazon Prime, I haven't ever played those video games, but it's pretty cool. It's apocalyptic world craziness that's, they're dealing with a bunch of different crazy things. And Walton Goggins as the ghoul is really great. And the actress who plays the main woman in the show, she does a good job. And there's a bunch of other, people in there too. And it's pretty cool to see. We're watching that. Gotta finish up Landman today, the season finale. Which if you haven't watched that, I highly recommend that on Paramount Plus too. So definitely have you watched Landman? I know Tim has, but anyone else watch that? So what else we got? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, after this week, movie wise, I was watching a little bit of Spider-Man 2. Then I think about what the future of Marvel is, and I am excited for Avengers Doomsday, but that's going to be all the way in December too as well. So Amy asks, "Hi PT, are you okay? Was thinking about you the whole week." So I'm doing okay. How are you, Amy? I'm hanging in there. So I started my new job on Tuesday, and it's part-time work, so it's a couple hours Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I like the part-time work because I have more free time to get stuff done around the house, and I want to be able to start writing more and start doing a lot of stuff more. But it hurts the paychecks, it hurts the bank account for sure. And I'm just trying to figure out a way to make ends meet and be okay, because I got my last paycheck of the previous job on Thursday, and then I'm done with that. And that was full-time work, full-time pay, and salary. So, but yeah, so I appreciate Amy. She's sending you prayers and love. Good luck with your new job. I know you will rock it. So I appreciate that. That's always kind words to hear that. It's just a transition again, like I was saying at the beginning of the stream that yesterday was a crazy day of my phone didn't work, and it was the anniversary of Milo's passing. And it was like a year ago, it was like the worst day One of the worst days of my life. And then yesterday, it wasn't nearly as bad as a year ago, but it was just like a lot of little annoying things with people at the supermarket and people around and, you know, the weather, and then my phone wasn't working and trying to work on that and just wanted to relax a little bit and just take it easy. And so hopefully today we'll be able to do that, watch some football, do some laundry. So after I do the live stream, I turn everything off and I basically get all the clothes and I start to color clothes in the laundry. And so I start that, get that going, and then my wife and I have lunch because she's taking a nap right now. And then we get the laundry going to move the color clothes into the dryer, and then they'll start the whites in there too, and then do that, and rinse and repeat and be able that, and then we have to worry about dinner and what we're going to do there, and try to get things together for that, and try to get ready for the next week. You know, my wife's having a transition of her job too, as her company was bought out, and it's a new situation there, and it's just kind of annoying with all the things, and that's kind of how life is, right? Like, it's not all peaches and cream and rainbows and doing great. There's a lot of times where it's annoying and frustrating and problems, and you have to solve problems and have new problems, and are they big or small, or how does it affect things? And as long as it's not some life-changing thing, you know, it's gonna be okay. But it's stressful, you know, you never know. You know, you never know what small problems can lead into big ones. So I was doing some yard work earlier this week and trying to take care of some things around there and setting things up around the house so we don't have any future problems with our downspouts and, you know, stuff you got to take care of. General maintenance, you know. And so just try to make things work and try to make things, you know, one problem at a time, solving the next problem to the next one to the next, because that's what I think the problem. That's what life is about, problem solving too. So exactly. Hard Nexie says, just when you get comfortable, life changes. So the only constant in life is change. So whatever that means, you know, you can be having a good time, bad time. So if it's a bad time and it changes to something good, that's great. But if it's good and it changes to something bad, that's the opposite effect what we want to have. But that's not really, you know, the way life goes. I always think of it as a roller coaster, ups and downs and all arounds, peaks and valleys, and so on and so forth too. So, but we'll be okay. We'll be all right. You know, all of us will. Everyone in this chat, everyone enjoying the videos and enjoying the channel and everything, we're going to be okay, one way or another. So, Walking Dead, man, I didn't really think about any gonna have any topics to talk about because the Daryl show is done filming. That's the fourth and final season, which I'm guessing is going to come out first, because if they're still filming right now recently for Dead City Season 3, that's not going to be out anytime soon. So it'll be the Daryl show ends first, and then the Maggie show and Maggie and Negan show in later this year. I have not seen the episode of, or the series that Andrew Lincoln is in. But it's dividing people. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people don't like what it is. I haven't seen it at all, so I can't weigh in. I haven't been able to see, you know, what happened with that. So it's definitely sorry, I got a text message about my experience at AT&T yesterday. So, but overall, guys, you know, we got to just make ends meet, keep it going, keep it growing. Looking forward to the future of things just like that, too. So, yeah, Hard and Nixie, I haven't even watched the latest season of Dark Winds because it got really weird with the supernatural things, and, you know, it was just, I don't know. I got to watch that, but I haven't seen that. Does it get better? Does it get good? Is last season actually okay? You know, because I know I saw some key art for the next season of Dark Winds, and I like the actors, and I like the premise of it too, and so I'll have to check it out. But I haven't seen the latest season. There's a lot of shows. There's a lot of good, and you know what I'm still waiting to see, and I'm excited to see, is Predator Badlands. I have not seen that movie yet, but I want to because I'm a big Predator fan. I'm a huge Predator fan. The first movie with Arnold and the commandos that go in the jungle and everything on there too. Like I could watch that movie over and over and over and over again. And it's awesome. You know, it draws you in, it's good, it's there, it's, you know, 80s action. And then the story gets kind of crazy with the Predator and the alien and how they're connected and everything on there too, and it's kind of cool. But I'm just waiting for that to drop on some sort of streaming service. Oh, we started The Pit. That's what it was. I was going to say. We started The Pit. And if you don't know what The Pit is, it's a medical show set in Pittsburgh in a hospital in an emergency room. And I believe the main guy's name is like Robbie or something. But he goes he talks he's a doctor in the emergency room, and it's Noah Wiley is the main actor there too, so that's pretty cool too. So I don't know what you're referencing, and will I review it? No, I will not review it because I will not do anything for that person. So I don't care about that person at all. So it's something that I got my own problems and my own stuff to worry about, and my own my own book series to care about on there too. So I don't care about that too. Is actually let's get rid of that because we're not going to publicize anybody else here too, especially that person. So the news about the Maggie having the cameo of the previous Walking Dead character is pretty cool, you know, and I think that's one of the coolest thing of Dead City was season 1 was when there was a connection with Negan and Simon, and the second season didn't really have that. I mean, I think every time there's a connecting point with the previous stuff of the universe of The Walking Dead, we like that. I know I do. We like callbacks, connections, Easter eggs. And The Walking Dead can be full of them. It can be none of them too, but it's something that I'm excited to see because I like the character that's coming back around again. I mean, I want to see more of that, and I want to see where the show goes because again, there's no excuse to why Dead City can't be good. Because you have two important characters in the Walking Dead universe. Maggie and Negan are very big characters for the Walking Dead universe. And it's something that, because Daryl and Carol show, it's good because Carol and Daryl, and it works with the stories okay a little bit. And Dead City could be the same way. The battle for New York, fighting for this, Savior callbacks, Negan stuff. Maggie said, let's get away from the whole Negan, Glenn stuff. Like, I mean, come on. We have to move past that. It's been like a million years in the Walking Dead universe. It's been a problem. You know, it's like, I know it sucks, and I feel for Maggie. Trust me, I'm a Maggie fan. But they got to work together and stuff. And if they're going to be on the show, like, it's just enough of that. We don't need the annoying teenager Herschel. And we need that stuff. You know, we need the people that need to just continue the story to work together to go against the real villains, you know. That's all right, Aminol Lover? That's not how you say your name. But it's okay. It's just when that person especially that you're talking about is had problems in the past and everything, and I hate to be throwing shade towards anybody because I'm trying to keep it positive and keep it there too, especially for YouTube, because YouTube is a tough, crowded area, and the world is a tough, crowded area. It's just so much on there as well. But I'm glad that I'm an inspiration to you, and if you're writing your own book, that's awesome. All I can say is take your time with it, edit. Go through it again and make sure it's good, and don't rush the publication of it, because that's what I did initially with my first books. Is that I was super excited, and I still love my series and I love my story and my it means a lot to me, whether people like it or not. I'm grateful and thankful to have the opportunity to do it. It was good. It was a good outlet and release for me, and we have to find those. And but I rushed it. The whole big story. You probably heard it a bunch of times if you know the channel, that I was in the hospital and not doing well and whatever, and I should have taken the time and took another month before I released it, and I didn't, and I put it out, and there was typos and problems and everything, and it was the first rollout of the book that people got to see, and your first impression makes the most. You can't have more than one first impression. Like the opening of The Walking Dead is one of the best openings there is of a zombie show. And like I can picture the opening of my story in a format of, a series, a TV show. And it would have to be captivating enough to like draw you in, to be like, what's going on here? What's going to be one of those things? Because then you can explore that. Because like the Walking Dead opening of Rick driving up to the gas station and walking down and seeing Teddy Bear Girl, and she's a walker, and he shoots the walker, and it's just like it's like, whoa, this show's crazy. And like that's what you need, man. Are there other shows that have openings like that too? Like the movie that draws me in every time, and I could watch it over and over and over again, is The Dark Knight. I believe that's the second one, the Christopher Nolan Batman, with because it's Batman Begins, Dark Knight Returns or something, Rise or whatever it was. But it's the one with the Joker and and they're going through there and they rob the bank, and you're like, that draws me in every time. And it's the way to be like, whoa, this is awesome. Are there any other shows or movies that do that? Because you gotta reel them in. You gotta stand out nowadays, especially like I said, in a crowded market, a crowded environment. You gotta have that niche. Anyone playing Fortnite? Any Fortnite fans? Right now it's like South Park craziness nonsense. Before that, the previous little mini season was The Simpsons, which was awesome. I'm a big Simpsons fan too. So, but yeah. So I'm glad that I was the inspiration for something, and that's the goal of this channel, is to have a good time and entertain, but also educate, motivate, inspire, have everything that draws people in to do things. And I'm not the best at everything I do. I'm far from it. But I want to be a part of something that is better for this world, for society, for everything there too. And I think working together in your strengths and your weaknesses, minimizing them and improving them, is the way to go. And whatever you like to do, if it's sing, dance, draw, animate, create, whatever, you got to do it, Terminator 2, that was awesome. Yeah. Yeah. But I appreciate this support. I don't know how to say your name. Amino Lover? Aminal? Aminal? I don't know. But so like people that, I think it's a trickle down effect, right? Like once I found out, I've been an athlete, motivated person to do well my whole life, and I didn't do well. It's something I wanted to get better at it. And if it was important to me, I worked at it. If it wasn't, I guess I gave up on it, But when you find out about Sylvester Stallone and the Rocky movies, and you hear about, the latest guy that I think about is Taylor Sheridan, that's inspiring. Or even Robert Kirkman. These guys, or Kevin Smith, like so many people had a vision to make something. James Cameron, whoever, people, if you like something, that's inspiring. Or it could be an artist, or it could be an animator, it could be a YouTuber, it could be anybody, it could be anything, especially nowadays. It's like pretty cool to see something and how to create stuff. and how to do it. And nowadays, there's so many ways to do that too. Like, I don't know what the future holds for us all, but we all, I guess, have our own opinions of it. But I guess we could agree somewhat is that AI is going to be involved with stuff, right? It already is. You know, all these things on my phone, my new phone, I'm dealing with like, oh, Gemini and this and whatever. And I'm like, I don't want any of that stuff. I don't care about any of that stuff. You know, like I made the quick little video of my grandfather holding me when I was a couple months old and my grandmother looking on. And I think stuff like that is amazing. I think it's pretty cool to see how that can evolve into something good. But anything that's made can be good or bad. You know, like a simple thing of a knife. I mean, a knife can be used to cut things, food and trees and whatever, you know, different knives, obviously. You're not using the same knife to cut your tree down versus, you know, cut your steak. Or it could be used to harm people, you know, the same thing. But AI is the same thing. It's a tool for something, and they can be used to help and hurt. And hopefully it's going to help more people than it's going to hurt. But I don't know. It's going to be crazy to think about it, too. And that's why there's kind of an undertone in my book series about AI and the future of everything, too, a little bit. So, but Tim says they're gonna attach the Rocky statue there for good. Yeah, so I just saw a report about them putting the Rocky statue at the top of the art steps. So for those who don't know, they're in Philadelphia. There is the art museum, and there's the steps, and they go up and up and up, and there's a lot. There's like a bunch of steps. And in the movies, they made the statue and they put it up at the top of there, but the statue is kind of moved a little bit. And there's actually 3 of them. There's one actually now in the Philadelphia airport that I found in December and took a picture of it, and it's pretty cool. There's one at the base of the art museum steps that's going to be moved at the top of the steps. And there's a third one, I believe, is by that Sylvester Stallone has in his possession that he lives in Palm Beach, Florida. That it's probably there, I'm guessing. But it's pretty cool. I forgot to post that. I should post that on Instagram as the Rocky statue, but have to think about it too. So, but any good film recommendations? That's a good question. What do you guys got? Any good film recommendations? So, what did we watch? What's the last movie I watched? Like I said, I started The Running Man, the latest one with Glenn Powell. I haven't watched it yet, so I haven't really seen how good it is. If it does well. What else? I mean, like I said, I haven't really seen. We don't watch a lot of movies anymore. We're watching more TV shows. You know, like there was like Stranger Things that we finished up, and His and Hers, and the Taylor Sheridan shows, and Fallout, and whatever too. So now I haven't seen Roofman with what's the guy? I'm blanking on his name. He's from here too. He's from Tampa. I'm sure somebody helped me out in the chat. He's of the dancer guy. He's Gambit in Deadpool Wolverine. Channing Tatum, that's what it is. Channing Tatum. I beat the chat, so we'll see who says it first in there. Who's the in Roofman? Channing Tatum. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really watched many movies. Like I said, the movie I am excited to watch is Predator Badlands. What's the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? It's got a weird name. It's like one something and after another or something, one after another or something. And that looks interesting. Fred Davis says Beth and Emily Kinney, as I'm guessing, has got her fan base. I know some Walking Dead fans didn't like her. I thought she was okay. It'll be good to see her in the city. Yeah, no, I mean, I think Beth served her purpose. I think she was good, and Emily Kinney was very nice. She was on the Walker Stalker cruise, and she performed, and she's a pretty good singer. She's not amazing, but she's not bad either. And so it's got to be tough after you're on a show. And I was talking to my wife about it because we saw John Bernthal in His and Hers, and then we put on Ford versus Ferrari, and he's in that. And then I know he's going to be in the next Spider-Man movie as the Punisher, and he is the Punisher. And so John Bernthal is kind of making it more and more and more and more and more. He's got a podcast now. He's got all these great things, and he's doing really well, which is awesome. And he has to be one of, if not the most successful person outside of the Walking Dead universe to make it. You know, like Stephen Young did a good job, and you know Norman Reedus did there too, and Andy Lincoln and Jeffrey Dean Morgan and whatever. But John Bernthal has been in so many things since he left The Walking Dead, Wolf of Wall Street, like so many great things. And like I said, if you ever get a chance to meet John Bernthal, he's a really nice guy. But anytime I see him, I just think of Shane, you know, and he's got that attitude. I don't think he's really acting that hard. Like, I think he's a nice guy, but don't test him and don't push him, because he used to be like a boxer, and so he's pretty tough. But you know, like I just like I like him. I like Norman Reedus. I like Sean Penn. I like a lot of people that are on there too, and I just like him being like regular people. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I feel like is like a regular guy, and just seems like he don't have to really try too hard to be something like that, you know. And anytime I've met them myself or I've heard stories, they've been really awesome to hear too. So. But other than that, guys, you know, we got about 9 minutes on there too. So I definitely want to just say thank you for taking the time to be here now and whenever you're joining us, because it still means a lot to me to be involved with this too. So Amino Lover says, do you prefer A-Team or Knight Rider? That's a great question. That's a little older in my scheme of things, but I don't know. I never really watched Knight Rider, but the car is much better than the A-Team van. You know, the car steals the show. You know, Hasselhoff is fine, but I think anybody could have played that role. And Mr. T is iconic, and I love Mr. T, of course. You know, I pity the fool who don't watch the A-Team. And then they remade it with like Bradley Cooper and Rampage Jackson and Liam Neeson. Oh, the last movie we watched was Naked Gun, because we were watching a bunch of movies on the cruise and we kept watching parts of them. And when my wife was at the gym, I was watching part of the Naked Gun, and I was like, oh, we got to watch this. And it's on Amazon Prime, I believe. And it's so silly and kooky and whatever. It's what a Naked Gun is supposed to be. But the opening sequence of a Naked Gun with Liam Neeson, or The Naked Gun, is hilarious. I was cracking up. And if you know what I'm talking about, it's the part in the bank. Like, that's all I'll say. There's just a bank being robbed type of thing. And I was cracking up with Liam Neeson, what he was doing, the whole sequence of events. And I just thinking of it now, it's got me laughing. But that was the last movie that we saw. And it was okay. Because again, we watched series. You know, we're watching The Pit now. We're watching, you know, we're going to start watching the new Game of Thrones show, Fallout. We're finishing up Landman, Tulsa King, you know, Mayor of Kingstown. And then we'll start, you know, Marshals in March, and then From when that comes back. And, you know, The Boys will be back in April. I believe it's April, I think. But there's a lot of good stuff happening. Like each week, we've got to watch The Rip. That's the movie I want to watch next. because I like Ben Affleck and I like Matt Damon. And I was watching this, I think it was this past week, I put on The Martian with Matt Damon, and that's such a good movie. I can imagine that book, and I didn't read the book, but people who ever have read the book and seen the movie, people say the book's always better. I don't think I've ever heard one time, or maybe very minimal, that the book is better than, or the movie's better than the book. But it's definitely something that you know draws you in, and it's pretty cool to see that stuff too. So I like where the shows and entertainment's going for this year. Next thing you know, it'll be Super Bowl, which is always a good day, and then we'll be into February and March, and then whenever we get this stuff released, and hopefully we'll find out more. We'll have to see how The Boys ends up, and how the stuff wraps up, because the shows are tough. To wrap up a show, to end something is really difficult. Like, I don't think The Walking Dead's ending was terrible, but it was nothing like great. It's set up. It just felt like a not ending. It felt like part of the story was ending, and then there was all these spin-offs and stuff, all this stuff's happening, which is fine. I mean, they're trying to continue off with, the continuation of the story of the universe, but it can't be like a comic like that, because the comics, there's so many other characters that join in and have these other parts too, and they can continue to have these stories that go there too, or they find some way to bring somebody back because of some crystal or spell or multiverse or something too, like, oh, it's kind of cool, we could bring, oh, everybody's gone, oh wait, no, we can go get these crystals, let's go get everything back, so it's just crazy. Deacon says, look into 11/22/63, 8 episodes, time travel, very well done. Cool. Hard Nixie says, haven't been watching many new movies. They keep pushing moral, political concepts awkwardly and obviously rather than just a story to the audience. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't really seen or felt too much of that. Maybe for what I'm watching. But I know that's an easy way that people just put their way in there too, as well, as they put all this crap in there too, and they kind of like over compensate for it. They overcorrect is where it was. Like, nobody was included, and now everybody's included, and now everybody's this, and there's always these type of characters, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's still a thing where it just seems like it's forced. And I don't ever want to watch a show or a movie that's anything's forced. I want it to flow naturally, and I want it to be like a river that just goes down. There's little, bumps and problems and stuff that needs to be there, and then it goes on, and then it continues on. The story just makes sense, Like, it's not something that's just so over the top or frustrating to watch for, time and time again, because I like it that just have an escape. Like there's nothing like a good show or a movie or a book or whatever, just to get away from my problems. Like, if I'm trying to get away from the chaos and like The Walking Dead was great, because I would always think about, what would I do in a zombie apocalypse? What would we do? What should we do? How would we survive? And I know it's not realistic, and it's not this, it's science fiction, but we always can think of it as the world is ending. What would you do here? What's the most important things? Is it the walkers? Is it the people? Is it the famine? Is it the food? Is it the water? Is it this? Is it that? Is it all of the above? It was kind of cool. It was a nice escape from that. I don't want to go and have problems with my job and the news and my neighbors and this, and then turn on a show and have the same problems. Like, I want to go and be like, have an outlet to be like, I can just worry about these people on an island trying to survive to win $1 million at the end of it, or I can just watch the silly concept of The Office on, just Dunder Mifflin and how silly that is over the topness. That's fine. Or like a silly movie on there as well. Or sometimes a good documentary is good too. You know, that's the other thing I want to talk about too before I wrap it up is we watched the, I think I talked about it last time actually, but now I think of the Poop Cruise, which was like, oh my God, that would be so terrible. You're stuck on a boat on a cruise ship and like that would be terrible. So I've hinted about that in my book series about a cruise ship, and I've always wanted to write that about a cruise ship zombie apocalypse thing because there's nothing scarier than a natural disaster or some sort of danger, and in the world of zombies, it could be vampires or werewolves or whatever, aliens, and you're trapped. You can't just get away. You can't get in your car and drive away or get an plane there. You're trapped in, a giant cruise ship. But that's kind of crazy. So I've been working on ideas for that for a long, long time, and I want to write a one-off book that connects with the Fight for Us universe of a zombie cruise ship too. So, but that's down the road when we get a little more time. And again, I want to do it right. So take your time and do it right on there too as well. All right, guys, that's my hour. I truly appreciate you taking the time and listen to my nonsense of yesterday, of craziness of the whole phone stuff. So hopefully you can relate to it. And that's what I always try to make it relatable and something just to be transparent and to talk to you guys as my friends. So thank you guys for taking the time to be here this hour and every hour. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about anything going on with The Walking Dead and different shows and sports and NFL and everything else there too. Thank you guys. I truly appreciate you taking the time. Remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals, whatever they are. Keep working, keep grinding, keep working at it. You can do it, whatever it is. I'll be back next Sunday, and I'll see you guys. See ya.